All right. Our next speaker is a journalist who has been a reporter and editor for the New York Times, a producer, correspondent for the PBS show Frontline, and the author of several books. He has covered stories such as Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Struggle, the Vietnam War, and the Cold War from both Moscow and Washington. He's a member of the team which produced the Pentagon Papers. Amazing work. In 1974, he was awarded a Pulitzer Prize for international reporting for his coverage of the Soviet Union and its allies in Eastern Europe. His latest project is a film that you can see right now on PBS called The Democracy Rebellion. So check that out. And let me welcome Hedrick Smith.
All right, thank you, Mike, and thank you all for being here. You must be frozen, so how about a break? Clap your hands. MLK. Hey, hey, hey. MLK. Hey, hey, hey. And stamp your feet. All right, let's get the blood moving again. Let me tell you, Mike spoke about a lot of the stories I covered, but one of those I covered was Martin Luther King 6 decades ago. Birmingham, Nashville, Albany, Georgia, March on Washington, I was there. Let me share with you, they called him all kinds of names. I loved it when the first speaker up here said he was a radical. They used to call him a communist. But one of the things they did when they came into Birmingham or Jackson, Mississippi, or wherever, they said, well, he's an outside agitator. He's coming in here, he's stirring up our folks. Everything was fine here before Martin Luther King showed up. He's just a rabble-rouser and an outside agitator. Well, I followed Martin Luther King after the mass arrests and the hoses and the police dogs and the billy clubs back to the black churches, the AME churches, the Baptist churches in these towns. And I waited for that moment when he took up that issue of being an outside agitator. And finally somebody in one of those churches said, well, what does that mean? They say you're an outside agitator. And Martin Luther King said, I am an agitator. Do you know what an agitator is? And people sort of look at each other, a little puzzled, he let it hang there. And then he put his fist up in the air and he said, you know, look inside your washing machine. There's an agitator in there, and it's stirring up the water, going left and right, knocking the dirt out of all those clothes. He said, that's what I'm doing here. I'm an outside agitator. I'm knocking out the dirt of American society. The Jim Crow, the racism, the segregation, and so forth. And people laughed, and then they got mobilized. One of the things about Martin Luther King was not just that unbelievable, soaring, anguished cadence of that I Have a Dream speech, but his ability to pull people together. People forget that there were rivalries back in that civil rights era. Stokely Carmichael and Malcolm X and James Farmer of CORE, and there was SLIC and there was SNCC and there was the NAACP, a lot of different organizations. But one of the purposes of the March on Washington was to bring them all together so that today when we look back 50 years, there was a civil rights movement. Well, in a way, that challenges us today to think, what are we? Are we wolf pack? Are we move to amend? Are we represent us? Are we League of Women Voters? Are we all kinds of different things? Or is there something here that unites us and that pulls us together? I got out traveling the country, got up in North Dakota, the badass grandmas of North Dakota fighting anti-corruption. You're down in North Carolina and it's Moral Monday. You're out in South Dakota, it's takeitback.org. If you're out in Washington State, it's Fix Democracy First. But what's pulling it together? It's the fight for democracy. It's what I call in this film the Democracy Rebellion. Think about it for a moment. You need a name, you need an identity, you need a common purpose, you need something that pulls you together. It's the democracy, but the rebellion part is what's fascinating. You all are it. This isn't my movie, this is your movie, The Democracy Rebellion. These people are amazing. I ran into a woman out in Washington State named Linda Bach. She's about as big as a barrel of beer and about as funny. And out there they wanted to fight Citizens United, put it on the ballot. They needed 350,000 signatures to put it on the ballot. Linda Bach personally collected 21,000 signatures. 21,000 signatures. I said, so what are you doing? What makes you do this? She said, I feel like I'm in the tradition of the American Revolution. Every signature I get is a check for the Constitution. She said, democracy, you got to fight for it or it'll slip through your hands. Let me do that again. Democracy, you got to fight for it or it'll slip through your hands. What's amazing is this is going on in this country and it's not being reported. This is the missing story. You are the missing story of American politics today. But what's amazing is the inspiration that you see. I put this film out. It's up on YouTube, The Democracy Rebellion. Use it. Look at it. Not because of me. Because when you see it, when other people see it, you'll take heart. There's a guy from Florida, Jorge Marsuli, one of the Latino organizers down in Miami. And they've just finished an unbelievable gerrymander reform in Florida. It's the 6th try. Wonderful thing about these citizen movements is they hang in there. First try, second try, fourth, fifth, 6th try, they get it. And Jorge Marsuli looks to me and he says, if we can do it in Florida, you can do it in your state. If they can do it in Florida, you can do it in your state. Let's hear it. The Democracy Rebellion. Go get it.